Business meeting for the month of August. Obviously, we're missing a few people. We've got a board member on vacation, one that's a little ill, and Shane Dale's supposed to be here, so he's on his way back from Asheville, but I think he'll be here. Lucy Dawes here.
Yes.
Too late.
What, for what?
No.
Oh, I'm not gonna talk, believe it or not.
Everyone had an opportunity to look over the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Uh,
All right. Public comment. I have Mr. Chuck Ivy talking about Shepherd Way pavement.
And Randy's not here, if he could support me on that. I made little pictures for y'all. There, it says top where top is, and they're hard to read, so. I think I got 5 copies. Really? Okay.
Thanks.
Looks like my street.
It looks like hard not being in.
All right, so first, thank you for meeting with me after last meeting. That was really a cool thing. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir.
So, Shepherd Way, before you get to Randy Ellis's house and then one after. So the damage was done by the storm, but then remember the big storm we had 2 or 3 months ago that just dropped a whole lot of rain? This was the aftermath of that, because y'all had already come up and repaired the gully and everything like that, and then it's just falling apart. So the number 1 picture is just above Randy's house, and that little stick that's right there is a yardstick. So that's a 9-foot long fallen in part. And then the second picture shows you the yardstick sticking up from the down. So it's 3 feet deep. That's a big hole, okay? And it already was repaired once. You can see in picture 1 that the asphalt, the new asphalt, is right there. So not for lack of trying. And then you're coming back down this way from Randy's house. And these are all, number 3 is on the west side of the road coming down. And that's the gully on the left side of it. And that yardstick is again there. So that's 3 feet into the road from the edge of the pavement there. Number 4, kind of the same idea, the gully's there on the right. And someone has spray painted markings to keep people safe on it. Might have been y'all, might have been neighbor or something like that. But that's almost into the middle of the road at that point, falling in. Number 5 is just below that. You can see that there's a lot of the refuse from the second storm coming out into the road, and then the middle of the road is dropping in. Okay, and number 6, the same thing. The middle of the road is dropping in. I know y'all are working on water systems, and it's going to include Shepherd Way. So I just wanted y'all to have kind of an idea of what might need to be done after you get done with the water system or whatever. If the water system includes digging up the road somehow, it doesn't make sense to make these repairs, but just keep that in your mind.
Sure.
Thanks for all you do.
We will pass this along to Shane as
Great.
well, so thank you. All right, Mr. Danny McIntosh, projects. We don't have any projects, Danny.
Here's one. I've watched this come along for about the last 20 years. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. The further we go into working our way through the storm, it never ceases to amaze me at how much work's being done. And Chuck has pointed out, we've got a lot more work to do, and there is a lot of work to do. It's just incredible what keeps turning up. It's incredible what keeps happening. Even out of events like last week's heavy rain here in town. I know that water in the Pine Swamp Branch was as big, pretty much as it's ever been. That includes the flood of 77 and the hurricane of 24. So there is so much to do, and I know that it stresses and it strains each and every one of you to keep up with this. It's just boggles my mind, so I just want you to know I appreciate it. I do, I was seeing what go on in our neighborhood, and so I see that, you know, just about every day, and it's everywhere, and it's important. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Danny. Alright. Everyone had the opportunity to look over the minutes from our July 10th meeting. Any questions or comments on that?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? All right, move along to Danny's project, Mr. Jason Chandler. Talk about security cameras.
Turn these off, some of you guys.
Other side, I'm sorry. On your side, that's your side.
On your side. It's on
There
your
it is.
side.
There it is.
It's on.
Good job, chief.
Way to go.
I didn't know I was being part of the display. I was trying to run into you, I should have, sorry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I put these up, some of you might not have seen them yet. This is the cameras we have up currently. These are demos. We've been demoing them since May. This system has many capabilities, including license plate recognition, facial recognition, and AI powered searches. You can put about whatever you want to in the system. It'll search to see if it's in the film anywhere. All the cameras are displayed on this command center, and can be viewed, and you can add as many cameras as you want and look into it. So, but we've been very pleased with the cameras so far during the demo. We've had multiple success stories already using them, which we'll talk about that shortly. But first, tonight, the proposal is to purchase a few of the demo cameras that we already have up and running. The company, I already put a grant in for 10 cameras, but after that, these demos, the trial run up. So the company has offered to discount us 31% off retail for the cameras that we already have up, as many as we want. I've already been working on, like I said, the grant cycle. I've got a grant in through the North Carolina DPS, and that was the main reason we had these up to try them out, to demo them, was for the grant. But let me tell you a little bit about the program first. We're calling it Operation Safe Streets, and it's to afford the Burnsville Police Department and Public Works the abilities to track, monitor, and observe pedestrian and traffic conditions in the town of Burnsville with the purpose of reducing speed, collisions, and reckless driving or road rage incidents, and monitoring the roadway conditions. With the main goal being to reduce collisions and to make streets safer for pedestrians. A secondary goal is to reduce crime, overall drug crimes, burglaries, and traffic violations. The citizens of the town of Burnsville and surrounding communities in the county will directly benefit from the use of these cameras. It is our belief that with the camera system in place, that collisions related to the instance will be reduced, and that our officers will receive aid in their investigations of such traffic incidents that do occur. We have many partners that could benefit from this system. In the town of Burnsville alone, Public Works could benefit from the traffic pedestrian surveillance along with added security to areas that we don't really, that might need extra cameras in the future, like maybe one at the water plants or wherever. But mainly their streets and sidewalks. Let's say if there's a water break is reported, Shane could log on and look at the cameras, and instead of running all over town looking for it, if you can see it in what it's on the cameras that we would have up, you could see it in the roadway, see the water's wet or traffic backed up. But the fire department, Niles could also benefit. If there's a wreck or something reported, you can check traffic conditions by just logging on. We work close with the sheriff's office and Nancy County Maintenance. The sheriff's office could benefit as well, and they're actually in the process of getting these same cameras. They already have a few up, I talked with, Matt, the IT guy, when me and John were putting these cameras up, and Matt said that he's pushing to get more of them, and that we could, if the county got some and we got these, we could share, you could share cameras, and all you have to do is put it on, and it'll show up on your command there. You just log into it, they share it with you. These cameras can be shared, like I said, with agencies, and will be extremely beneficial to all parties involved. These are our partners, which we work closely with every day to serve our community. Studies have shown that traffic and pedestrian cameras have proved to be great assets to all areas which they are deployed. And we look forward to being able to use this program to help us, along with our partners in town and the county, to reduce these problematic issues. Our vision for this project is to make our streets safer and our pedestrians and drivers in multiple ways. To deter criminal violations and reckless driving, deter criminal activity while on foot. With the facial recognition, you can search for wanted persons and persons of interest. Monitoring our crosswalks. And with the LPRs, they'll be tied into DCI where you can search. Like if a stolen vehicle comes through, it'll recognize that tag and pop it and says, alert us that there's a stolen vehicle coming through town. Also track down their known drug traffickers and investigate other crimes by the use of the license plate recognition software, and deter burglaries by the presence of surveillance. For this project, we have two main goals, the four objectives. Goal number one is to reduce traffic incidents and collisions and to aid our officers in the investigations of any collisions or incidents that might occur. Goal number two is to deter or reduce criminal activity and aid our officers in investigations of crimes, drug trafficking throughout our communities. The cameras will be linked, like I said, to the national network, which will also alert us to any stolen vehicles reported in all 50 states or missing wanted persons that might come into town. The four objectives are to reduce overall traffic conditions and incidents, to give our officers aid and surveillance cameras to solve the collisions that do occur, to reduce overall crime by the aid of LPRs, to alert officers on duty of any stolen vehicles, known drug traffickers, or persons of interest. Number three is to use facial recognition to monitor problem areas such as wanted persons and reduce the threat of burglaries by preventive measures that all surveillance systems bring. And then number four, to use the video monitoring to monitor traffic conditions, including inclement weather, water leaks, and other incidents, for the purpose of public safety advisories and to assist public works in knowing when the need arises for road maintenance or closures due to inclement weather or other issues. As I said earlier, these cameras are already working. Like I said, we've been demoing these just for a few short months. John and I put them up, started in May, putting the cameras up. And since that time, we've had the break-in internet hotspot. We were able to locate the vehicle that was used in the commission of that crime and put it in the area at the time of the incident. This aided in the interview of the suspect who confessed after being told that we had him on camera in the area at the same time. There was a stolen vehicle taken from Stiles. With the camera system, we were able to determine the direction it was traveling and at the time it was passing out of town. And this aided officers in locating and ultimately stopping the vehicle a short while later. And it ended up just being an elderly gentleman with dementia that had got into the wrong vehicle, but we were able to get that situation resolved and him helped. In July, a woman called to report that she believed that her dad had been assaulted at the Live Oak Gastro Pub down the street here. But after using the camera system, we were able to determine that the individual had left the pub intoxicated, tripped over a table and fell on the sidewalk. So that's kept us from doing an assault investigation. Then we were able to get several videos from the man from Texas that everybody knows about, who stole the vehicle at Ingalls and later shooting at other vehicles and leading Avery County deputies on a chase. Our LPR showed that he had been in here over a week prior to the incident and just laying low, and we're able to see that he was the one driving the vehicle around town when it come up Town Hill. I've got a video of that. If you want to pull it up here. You're also also put these in the, like, for our investigative purposes, each video, you can make a case. And then add the videos to it. That's him coming up the hill here. And he had luckily he had he had a tag on the front too, Texas has front tags, and they popped the tag. There's another video, both of them simultaneously. I'll let that play while we keep talking. We also had, you can enter persons of interest or places of interest into the system, and for non-drug trafficking or any conflict of the nature, if you're looking for a vehicle, if you're looking for a BOLO that somebody had reported somebody missing or something, you can put that in there, and if the tag comes through, if the vehicle comes through, it'll tell us. And it alerted our officers of that the vehicle had come through that had been entered, allowing officers to locate the vehicle and conduct a traffic stop. During this stop, it was about 1 gram of meth was seized, and along with some drug paraphernalia. Like I said, this has been just since May. These are just a few examples of how the camera system has already helped our town. With the acceptance of this initial purchase, once the grant is through DPS's process, we'll be able to add 10 more additional cameras if you guys decide to go with these. Those are 5 context cameras and 5 the license plate readers, along with the second PTZ, which is pan tilt zoom, the camera that's on Town Hall. I don't know if y'all seen that either. Our Wi-Fi's the end of the line. Let's do this. I saved some videos from the fireworks celebrations. It's a little bit what it does. So this thing has facial recognition capabilities. You can look, say we had a little girl that got lost, separated from her mom, luckily, during the craft fair. Luckily, it was just a few minutes and they found her. But had it lasted longer, we could have put the description of the girl in there, and if she came across, if the camera saw her, it would have told us where she was. You can also move it around and use it as you manually as well. With the other 10 cameras, if we get the DPS grant, we'll have the main thoroughfare covered at some point on West Main and the bypass. This project is important to us, and I hope that I've done it justice and shown the good it can do for our town. Thank y'all for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any further questions that you might have about the system.
Any questions?
I have none. I think y'all know how I feel about the cameras. I'm for every one of them. It's better than my original idea of speed.
Well, Leslie has a budget amendment, yeah.
If you want to buy these existing ones,
To buy the existing ones
or demo these
that were
Do you
demoed.
want to just wait till Leslie's,
Yeah, we can.
or do you want to do it now?
Either way, don't matter. She's got a large one, yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, it's not on there for a motion right now.
it'll just approve it, I think, with my budget amendment. You're okay with that?
Unless y'all want to. I mean, you're welcome to ask for a motion on whether or not to purchase it.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna make a motion
To approve it.
anyway, so
To approve it.
now, or, yeah,
Okay.
most definitely.
We'll go
Like I
ahead.
said, this is better than my speeding cameras.
Yeah.
You want to say that right now, what, I mean, differentiate it from?
Yeah, I can go
All right.
ahead, I can go ahead and tell you
We'll
what.
let Leslie go ahead.
Okay, if you'll look at your budget amendment, there is at the very bottom here, it's a line item transfer, and what it does is it decreases the general fund contribution to reserve by 11.5, and it increases I made a new line in Brian's department, which is 10.5.10.74.03, capital outlay other than vehicles. And I increased it by 11.5. And it's just strictly moving around in there, it's not, if you're okay with that.
So just so I'm clear, is that purchasing the ones that are currently up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what that is,
We
correct?
would wait for the grant, which should reimburse us for those and additional ones.
Yeah, and he's got an additional grant packet that he's going to ask for.
What is that cost yearly, Chandler, as far as the,
Hang on, I got it.
For those, it was like,
The grant has got like a 5-year contract already in it.
That's, it looks like Chandler for 5 on this one, that the price per year is like $191, which is like
Yes.
$1,000 a
The ones
year
we
for
have
upkeep, you know,
will be,
for maintenance.
we can already connect Wi-Fi to them, so we won't have to have the Sager capabilities. We'll leave up the one on the visitor center, the one down in, on East Bypass, which is the folks at, the mattress places graciously let us use their building and their Wi-Fi. So we can use Wi-Fi there, and then if we keep, that'd be 4 cameras in two different locations with 4 cameras. And then the PTZ's on Town Hall, we can, John can wire it into, it's on the mobile network right now, but it can be hardwired in. So you don't have to worry about the other prices on the data plans.
okay.
But we do have to pay this license
Yes.
agreement every year.
Yes.
Okay, so that's $1,000.
Has that one got
But
one year,
it's-
Leslie?
but it's written into the grant for 5 years. Are these cameras gonna be included in the grant? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Well,
included.
Like I said, for this one now, yes, that's just the 5 cameras with 1-year license. So it's but I'm supposed to stay around $190 per camera.
Okay, so we'll just have to take that 1,000 discount.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't have any other discussion, you want just to approve the budget amendment when we get to you, is that, would that be the
That's
next
kinda
step?
how it would go, that is okay.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. All right, presentations. We don't have any presentations. We'll move on to Ms. Hockaday with the manager's report.
Okay, FEMA, I think Leslie also has a FEMA report you guys have, this sheet. Just showing the projects that we have ongoing, what funds have been obligated, and then, what funds we're still waiting for obligation. A new twist has been thrown. Most of our small projects have been obligated. Our Cat B, which is emergency work, has been obligated. We were waiting on 2, A&E version, which is engineering on the redundant raw water system project, and then payment for the construction of the Cane River water line that went under the river out there to restore water service back to the western side of the county. Those, we made inquiries this week with FEMA, and it is our understanding that sometime within the past 2 months, the Federal Secretary of DHHS changed policy and said that typically your project gets obligated once it's gone through the regional, what they call the CRC, which is everything's evaluated and they say, yeah, you're good to go, we're obligating these funds. And then the money goes to the state, and then the state sends us the money. But the new rule is anything over $100,000 has to go to Washington DC for Secretary Noem's signature. And that's not just for the 25 counties that are affected by Helene, but that's for the entire country, every FEMA project. $100,000 is a low bar.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're working in the infrastructure space. So, we have a few delays, luckily, as we will get to, there will be, we have the loan funded from the state, if we need to get these contractors paid. They have been extremely patient and, helpful to us. Nobody has been beating our door down yet, but it has been close to 10 months, and these people deserve to be paid. So we're gonna be looking at that in the next week. 'Cause I had a call yesterday with Senator Ted Budd's office. They're trying to get us a meeting scheduled with the secretary to try to get some kind of resolution to how this can proceed a little bit faster. But they haven't been able to get time with her yet. So we're waiting on that, to see maybe if something shakes out from those meetings and our projects get pushed. I certainly gave them all the information about our particular projects and asked that if there was any way to push them through faster, to please do so. Cause they have already been approved by Region 4 FEMA. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Also on the FEMA side, we have been approached by North Carolina DOT. They have, going to be, completely rebuilding 197 South and the Bowlins Creek Loop. And they have asked if they could roll our utility line damages into their building process, because obviously it makes more sense as you're building the road to lay the water lines and build the road around and over them, as opposed to build the road and then come back and cut the road up later on to put water lines in. We've had discussions with FEMA here in North Carolina at the state level, and they have said for DOT to submit the agreement that would be between the town and DOT to allow them to do this. We did that this week, and I heard from Mr. James Fox, who's the infrastructure division lead with FEMA in North Carolina, and he said he would put it through their legal channels and see. So what I'm asking this evening for is you guys to have a motion and vote to allow the mayor to sign this agreement if FEMA approves it.
I'll make that motion.
No, second.
Okay.
And when you're talking about water lines, are you talking about the city water, or the Bowlins Creek water?
We're talking about the raw water lines. It's all rolled into what DOT
From-
has termed the 197
Yeah.
South Design Build Project.
But it could be, essentially it could be both.
Yeah.
This is basically the one
Right, 'cause
ninety-seven
there was a
from.
thing on the news the other week about Asheville trying to plan on some kind of an alternate thing, and I think that Bowlins Creek is important.
Well, and we will have, expect to have middle of this month or by the end of this month, some cost estimating with our consultants and engineers on that project to make some decisions about, and of course we'll bring that back to you guys, about how to move forward with either replacement or some type of an alternate thing. Wastewater treatment plant, we have a consideration for Withers Ravenel is the engineering firm that was selected through the competitive procurement process. And we have contracts from them ready to go. We would ask you to authorize the mayor to sign the contract and authorize me to issue a notice to proceed so they can start their engineering design work on that project. And that's for the damages that were done to the belt press and that room down there at the sewer plant.
Have a motion to approve that.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion carries, Chad.
And one other thing I will say about the sewer plant while I'm here is that the contracts have been signed with the county for the funding the ARPA funding they received to add the additional 5 plant and rehab the old 5 plant at the sewer plant. So those, that construction should start pretty quick. I think we have a meeting maybe scheduled for next week, or trying to get one scheduled with the contractor and get the timetable on how quickly that can get started. So that is super good news. Third round of cash flow loans, the North Carolina Department of Treasury has issued an invitation to ask municipalities and counties if they're interested in receiving additional funds through the cash flow loan program. We've gotten 2 rounds. We haven't spent that money yet. Leslie and I have discussed it in light of these delays that are happening. We feel like it might be a good idea to go ahead and submit a request for a 3rd round. I'm concerned that when we get to the larger construction projects like the intake in particular, that if there is a lag in FEMA reimbursement, that we may have to, pay some contractors, because once they start construction on those things, they're gonna invoice monthly. We do not know that. I think it's gonna be 15% of whatever is on your, on our damage inventory list, is what they're telling us. They haven't given us an amount yet, but we just submit the form and then they let us know.
Sounds like a no-brainer. I mean, it
Yeah.
don't cost us anything to get it.
And we're trying to hold on to it as long as we can, and hopefully, just get to hand it back to them if they will process these payments. ARPA, East Main Sewer Interceptor, project is finally, I told you the last time, we were able to get the additional $540,000 in grant funding to complete that project as designed. I have consideration of a tentative award to Cajun Construction. They did the West Interceptor, and they've done a lot of sewer rehab line work for us over the years. I just need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the resolution, which you guys should have on your computer there, and then allow me to sign the cost summary for the bidding and the good faith efforts form, so we can send that into DEQ and get the notice to proceed back from them.
You just need one motion?
You can make, that all in one motion.
I make it.
Second.
Motion carries.
118 North Main renovation project has been on hold while the structural engineering, been trying to figure out what to do about the south wall and the little bit of structural issue they had there. I had a meeting this morning with the architect and the contractor. The contractor, we think that we should have within the next week probably all the pricing on that change with the structural. And so we'll be bringing forth a change order to add some of that in. The contractor is pushing hard on the subcontractor that's doing the masonry work to give us as much credit as possible on what was already bid. And they are, the lag time on that is gonna be getting the steel here for the beams they're gonna have to put in, or the rods they're gonna have to put in. So they're hoping 4 to 8 weeks they can start back. They don't think that's gonna impact, the overall timeline in terms of getting things done to meet the grant deadlines. I did reach out again to Senator Heiss's office, to his legislative liaison about, as the Senate and the House start negotiating budget reconciliation in Raleigh, about including some additional funds for this project, because we've had some change orders. So we'll wait maybe to hear back from them, but that's where that project is right now. Real quickly, Division of Water Infrastructure with DEQ and the U.S. Economic Development Agency. I've been meeting with them regularly for the past month and a half. Went to the DEQ application training in Hickory last week, I think, to learn about the new Helene SRF funding. And what we might be eligible for. We've been having discussions going through our capital improvement plan, picking out different projects there and seeing if they would be a good fit for the SRF program. This is the loan, it's a loan, but up to $5 million, they'll give us 100% principal forgiveness. So it basically is a grant up to $5 million. Above that mark, it's 75% principal forgiveness. So right now, we're just in the process of trying to formulate what projects would meet the criteria to help knock some more things off our capital improvement plan and water and sewer. And of course, the COG has been very involved with that in terms of they would be our grant writer and our grant administrator. So I'll give y'all more updates on that. For the SRF, our deadline for applications would be November the 3rd. The Economic Development Association, US, EDA, Hillary Sherman has been meeting with me and representatives from the COG about some Helene funds they have. We're trying to work on, again, with our partners at the county, possibility of an expansion at the sewer plant at East Yancey. These funds have to be for something, not necessarily a Helene impacted community, but they have to in some way spur economic growth, economic development. And sort of spearheaded some conversations that Hillary had with local industry about their thoughts on future needs for water and sewer treatment. So we're working through that process and possibly have an application in September or October, but that would be a joint, the town would be probably the lead applicant, and then East Yancey Water and Sewer District would be a co-applicant with us. So we're gonna work on that. And that's all I have really for projects that are going on. What?
Did you need a motion on the third round?
Oh, she made it, I thought. Did you make the motion on the third round of Helene funds? Or, loan, cash flow loan?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I made that motion.
I thought you did. I'm sorry.
And Bill's gonna approve
Thanks.
it anyway, so.
Thank you, Chad, sorry.
There were several right there in the row.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, down to the tax report. You guys have it. We're just waiting for new tax bills to go out. Nothing much has changed. We've had some more collection, and we have turned one property over to Kenya Law Firm for a little extra collection. But I do have a consideration of 2 properties for tax refunds. And you guys should have that in on your computer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so, and these were, Mr. McIntosh helped me out greatly. These were situations where during assessment, the county tax office had made a clerical error in square footage of these properties, and they issued a refund. And so we've been requested by the taxpayer to issue a refund. The first one would be for $744.12. And the second one, I think, was $210. I'm gonna make sure I don't get in trouble with Miss Hensley. $210.60.
You want that one?
Yeah,
Have a motion to
I'll
approve
make that motion.
those
I'll
refund
second.
requests.
Yeah, and I'll second it.
That's all I've got. I'll be quiet. We'll go home.
Thank you, Heather. All right, we'll move along to Mr. Shane Dale with Public Works update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the most part, everything's been going pretty well. We've got, of course, you know, the Crafts Fair's done and over, and I think on our end, things went pretty well. I don't think there was too much bad things. I think everything worked pretty well for the most part. We're still having some issues and stuff with the raw water intake, of course. Had to change a couple of gaskets and different things out on it. These rain events that we've been having has been creating a lot of grief. Cause still got a lot of sediment coming down through there, creating a lot of turbidity when it gets down there, so. It's just causing us to use a whole lot more chemical than what we was used to. The contractor that's working on the Main Street water line, the one that's doing just the side streets, they've made it up, partially up Hickory Lane right now. They've nicked a few services along the way and caused a few issues, but that's just part of it, because there's a lot of old water lines that's in this ground that we don't know anything about. They found them for us, so. But
That's one
for the
way.
most part, everything's been going pretty well. We've had to fix those leaks, and plus we've got some of our own on the aging infrastructure that's been popping up, and we're still trying to get all of them, but it's just a work in progress. I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Shane. Miss Leslie, finance.
Thank you.
Update.
Thank you, sir. I feel like we probably are gonna need to tag team this budget amendment. But, I sent the budget versus actual out, I was just a little bit later on it. But it's really not much yet. There's not been enough time for it to be much out of whack, but knock on wood. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the budget amendment. Honestly, all this down here is, I'll explain it, but it's basically about these three things in this top column and the revenue column. This top one is contribution from capital reserve from the fire department. So, Niles is looking at a fire truck, and do you wanna tell them what you're looking at and explain your little sheet of paper?
I will. I advised council last time that we were looking for a fire truck, and fortunately, we came up with one very quickly. C.W. Williams had one, and it fit our specs almost to a T, what we were looking for. It is
And that don't happen often, does it?
don't happen. One of the big things we run into is finding something with a bigger engine in it, and this truck does have a much bigger engine than what's in our regular trucks we have right now, which will improve our response across the mountain. So that was a big plus for us. So they did have it, and it was a stock truck. We had them bring it up, we looked at it, everybody went over it. Several members of the fire department went over it and were impressed with it, and I sat down with them and got them to give me a price on the truck, and we, after a little negotiation, got down to $520,000. As we began to look at, we talked a little bit about how to go about whether to finance part of it or just pay for all of it, and we even went so far to look at some financing figures on it. But after looking at what we had already in our savings account, which we had a balance of $557,201 in it, and we had a line item in the current budget for some contribution to capital outlay for $135, I think it was.
Yeah, $135,722.
$135,000, kind of determined we could take $400 out of our reserve and $120 out of that contribution to capital outlay and just pay for it outright and not have indebtedness hanging over us for a number of years and not knowing what the outcome is gonna be. Of course, flood issues with property taxes and all that thing. So once we looked at that, kind of determined that that's the route we wanted to go. And I guess what I'm looking for right now is the council's approval to go ahead and purchase that, and then we'll get back to Leslie's
Yeah.
budget amendment. Because that's what the budget amendment is all about. So I would request respectfully that you approve the purchase of this truck.
And how long's it been since your last purchase of a new
I think the
engine?
last two we bought were 99 and 2000, I think.
It's been a
The
while.
last
20
new truck was about in 2003, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we're 22,
22.
23 years
It's 298.
out since we purchased a new truck, so, I think do.
Yeah, it's been 20 years.
We've
I
been trying
remember
to save
paying
some
it.
money by buying some used trucks, but I think we try to build our fleet a little bit better with some newer equipment, so, while we have some funds available.
Yeah.
We
So-
already have the money.
Council have any questions on that?
The rates were high. I mean, the rates are
The
high.
lowest was 4.36, and then the others were like 6%. And those were people I usually would go to for any kind of finance, and so.
And the low rate had a penalty for
Had
paying
an
off
early
early.
payment penalty of like $4,000 to pay it off early, so.
Yeah. And in October, we'll probably get the, fire tax from the county, and last year it was 270-some thousand, that first payment, so. So we should be good. But, if yous are for it, then that's what that line is. That line in this 120 right here.
So
You
I
need
guess,
a
I
motion
guess,
to just-
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I will second that.
I'm in
All in
agreement,
favor?
yeah.
Okay, well, back to me then. All right. so-
Congratulations, Nelson.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so the contribution from capital reserve, the fire, I've just gotta recognize it in the budget, this is 400, and then down here, this 120, that's this, 10/5/31/7403 is where we had the contribution to capital reserve in the budget. So this is just a line item transfer. I want it all to come out of this one line, so it's clean, you know, and looks better. And then the second one is police grant revenue. So what Chandler didn't tell you is he's got a drone grant, and I actually have the check already, but I need to recognize this in the budget so I can pay for it. That's 17.5. And this miscellaneous revenues, we got a refund from Republic from a long time ago, but I don't know, from trash pickup, we had a credit balance. But I just wanted to increase this line and be able to increase the garbage line to offset it, cause that's what it was from,
Okay.
so.
I have a motion to approve the,
I'll make that
Amendment.
motion.
I will second it.
motion carries, Chad. Is that all you have, Miss Elizabeth?
That is it. This is wild enough here.
I'll turn it back over to Mr. Howell, Chief Howell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You do have our report for the month there. We did pick back up. We had an easy month for the month of June, but back to July, we got back to our pretty much normal of about around 30 calls. We had 37 for the month of July. Most of those, again, back to the motor vehicle accidents, and so we're still seeing a lot of those out here on the 4-lane mostly, and we have had a series of fire alarms and continuing to have, which is a little unusual, structure fires in the summer months. We usually have a little break from that, but it seems like we're just steadily keeping that going, which so I don't really think they're storm related. Some of them are, some aren't, so. One of the ones we had just recently that's not in the July report was one where there was no bridge to the house. We had to stretch hose across the river. And it was a good ways away from our trucks, and it made it a little complicated. So I think we're gonna continue to see those kind of things happen. I did order a skid unit for one of our side-by-sides that will help fight brush fires, so that will be available for our fall fire season. And of course, we ordered the side-by-side with the skid unit from our grant funding, and it probably will not be here. They gave me 180-day turnaround on it, so it's probably gonna be after Christmas if they stick to that before it gets here. But we did get grant funding to pay for it, so it should be here. So we'll be a little better shape for wildland fire by then. And that's about all I have to report.
Thank you, Chief. All right, Chief Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We also survived the crash fair. I thought that was all right. I'm sure Elaine will speak to that a little bit more here in just a bit, but we managed to only write a couple of tickets, only one of which I've been yelled at so far, so it's not getting correctly, so. We did have it went relatively smoothly, was set up and everything. Again, she'll probably talk about that more, but that's usually our big event of the year. And I don't know of any major problems that happen throughout the weekend. You have our activity logs as well. From zoning end, there's not that many updates. I am going to a training the first of the week to renew my zoning certification, so I'll be certified for 2 more years, I guess. So, but that's really all I have, unless anyone has any other questions.
Thank you, Brian. Do we skip Corbin or not?
Kinda hard
Mr.
to
Cooper?
skip.
Thank you. We only had 2 casualties during the craft fair. Turns out the ladies don't like when you cut in front of them to go into the bathroom to clean, but, I get it. We did survive just fine, and as of for this month, it's a little light on the rentals, but we pick back up next month with 28 rentals for September. And as always, we're just trying our best to stay busy. That's all I really have.
Good. Thank you, Corbin.
Thank you.
All right, council member reports. Got anything you wanna report on?
I have nothing,
Nothing?
nothing.
Bill? Don't have anything in?
No, with the high country thing, they had talked about the grants and things that's available, but they did talk about one thing, somebody was there on video. North Carolina Railroad, did you ever hear of that? It's the only state-owned railroad in the United States. And it goes from Charlotte to Morehead City,
Oh, yeah, I know.
and they give grants, small grants, like to people to help clear up brownfields and maybe help people in rural areas get water and stuff like that. But I'd never heard of that. And I don't know how they pay or charge, but I mean, they charge like CSX or whatever the rail people that use it, they get money from that.
I will say, yesterday we were here and it's been on my mind for a month or so, talking about this employee appreciation day for the town employees. I was talking with Heather and Leslie and Chad, and something I've been thinking about a lot was doing something a little different for this year, because obviously this past year's been a little different. And called Niles, and he was at the fire department, asking him to come and join us. I feel like that we need to do it at the fire department and have all the firemen there, because what they've done throughout the storm, and have everyone's families there, and we do have money budgeted for this. So Niles was in agreement with it, and we're gonna actually do it on a Monday night, which is his regular meeting night, and do it at like 5 or 5:30 instead of in the middle of the day, and that way everybody's able to come. And Wanda's here, she's already agreed to do the baked potatoes for everybody. You know, it's been on my mind a lot, and you don't wanna single people out, but there was a few individuals that were there that were non-town employees, and I've already reached out to one of them, and he's sitting with us, but Danny and Sharon were there the entire time, and along with Jerry Lale, Mitzi, Sherry. You know, those individuals I feel like need to be there, and they were there to support the firemen and the visiting firemen that were there for a long period of time. So.
Could you try again?
Are you recording it?
No, that stupid thing on the phone. You
So-
must have said her name.
Everybody was, obviously, you know, that was had to have Niles' approval on that, with it being at the fire department on a meeting night, but he was good with it. And I just think it's, you know, I wanna be able to thank the family members for not seeing their spouses for 2 months, because, I promise you they didn't, so. Just wanted to run that by y'all and make sure that nobody had a problem with it.
I have no problem whatsoever. When is it?
Sorry, on the
Yeah.
25th, nice. And we're gonna say 5:30-ish, and that way that gives people, You know, cause obviously a lot of firemen,
August 25th.
well, all the firemen work elsewhere, so they'll, give them time to get home. That's your own date, Katie?
Wrong day, it's convocation at Marskin.
Well, there you go. Ryan will be here.
He will be there. You're welcome.
And your boys.
And my boys will be
What
there.
time was it? 5:30?
Yeah,
5:30.
yeah.
It's fine. I don't need to eat Wanda's potatoes.
We'll save you one down there.
We'll save you a plate, Katie.
All right, Miss Elaine. Did you get dried out from the crafts
Boy,
fair?
I tell you, I've never been so wet or so cold as I was this week. My gosh, bad combination. All right, well, thank you, Mayor, council members, and staff for the opportunity to provide you an update on our recent chamber activity. I'm happy to say that the 2025 Crafts Fair is over. It was very successful, and attendance was slightly lower on Saturday due to the weather and some other things, but overall feedback from our vendors remains very positive. This year, as Brian mentioned, we implemented a few logistical adjustments, including a hub and spoke staging model for the load-in with only one entrance point this year instead of everybody meeting from east and west and duking it out. Actually, last year is exactly what happened, so we decided we were gonna try something new. And it actually resulted, I think, in a much smoother setup experience. The vendors really liked it, so that is what we were aiming for. Post-event feedback, approximately 2/3 of the vendors reported that their sales were either as expected or better than expected. I had been concerned with everything that's happening this year, that might not be the case, but they noted that while their sales have been down at other festivals, some up to 30% this year, Burnsville continued to be a bright spot for them, so that was exciting. We had a new survey question about possibly extending the crafts fair to Sunday. We all know why we don't want to do that, but we've been getting a lot of requests on surveys in past years from the vendors. So we asked if that was something the vendors would like to see, and as it turns out, over half of them preferred keeping it just the way it is, which is what I was really
Good.
looking for, because now when a vendor asks us why we aren't, we can say.
We can blame it on them.
That's right, that's exactly right. That was exactly what I was looking for. And I didn't want to go to church and even begin to have a conversation if our vendors weren't interested in it. So we were happy to see that come out that way. We're already hard at work planning next year's fair, which will take place on August 7th and 8th in 2026. A huge thank you goes out to everyone that made this event possible this year. Brian and the Burnsville Police Department were outstanding. They were so awesome at maintaining just a helpful and visible presence that really enhanced, I think, the safety and comfort of our guests without it feeling heavy-handed. I mean, several people commented on how friendly the police were and how it was nice having them there, that sort of thing. Shane and his team were incredibly accommodating both to our vendors and our visitors. Corbin, of course, and the town center staff kept the facilities running smoothly and bathrooms spotless during the event, which is always a challenge when there's that many people, but they did such a great job. And to all the town staff and council members, thank you for your continued partnership in this, both leading up to and participating in the Crafts Fair. Saw you out there at the Crafts Fair, and I'm sure others of you were there. Looking ahead, we're gearing up for the 8 remaining chamber events that we have in 2025. We have 3 chamber after-hours gatherings, trick or treat on Main Street. We're doing the Empower Her Women's Leadership Summit in October. Western North Carolina Chamber Executives Fall Retreat, which is being hosted right here in Burnsville this year, and both of those will be at Town Center. Annual Christmas Parade and Merry Main Street. And when we told that to our new person who's coordinating events, Sam, that I brought in here, her eyes got like this big, and we were like, none of them are as big as the Crafts Fair were, okay? It's all right, just breathe, we'll get you through this. So, obviously, we continue to be grateful to the support of all of you for our businesses and our community, and business community and the broader community that we all serve. Your partnership is so critical in everything that we do, and we just so appreciate the way everybody just steps up and shows up when we have that need. So thank you for that, and with that, I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Anybody got any questions?
Awesome.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, no closed session. Our next regular monthly meeting is September 4th at 6. No further business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I make that motion?
Nah, Leslie, you're off.
I know, let's say, I'm sorry, after Chandler
Well,
kept
you were-
talking, I knew I was out.
You and Chandler
I will
were,
finish, Chandler.
you and Chandler were wrong.
I called the